Today on Doing Stuff with Dylan, we're going to pull the tranny out of this 2014 Ford Escape. I see people pulling the cowls, this, that, and the other thing. I'm going to take it out the easy way. I think it took me about 2 hours. You want to know the easy way to do it, you keep watching. If you like what you see here, hit the like button. If you want to see more like it, hit the subscribe button. The easiest way to freely support my channel. I really appreciate it. This likes to get caught on these wires back here. I'm gonna take this battery off. 10mm. Clamps are 10. Battery hold down nut. Tab goes to the right. I always take this and pull this harness over top right here, so that way the battery will come out. Take the negative off and pull your battery out. Alright, then we got 10s holding the battery box down, and then you got 1 Torx in here. Alright, use a 10 to take out all 3 of these battery bolts. There's little Torx. I'm going to use my fingers for the back. This has a little tab. These little tabs, just flathead. Twist out. Alright, and I see a lot of people pull this cowl out, but I just don't do it. Alright, what helps is you got to get this guy out from on top of the battery box, and the battery box can come up far enough, come right out of there. I didn't break nothing. All kinds of room there to get the top stuff done. 15 for the top mount bracket bolts. Keep those right there together. You gotta pop these things off the side of it. Right there and there. And then that'll come out. And then you pop your shifter cable off carefully. Alright, I'm going to take my shifter bracket out of the way. A couple 10s right here. Go ahead and unbolt that cooler from the transmission. Alright, we got our cooler loose now. Just double check, it wiggles around good. Pull up on these coolant pipes. Hoses. You can normally get your socket and extension down in there. Alright, just like that. I go right down. Went right down along the shifter. And it's longer, I really don't have to mark it. I'd always mark my starter bolts on the threads, so I know for sure that's my starter bolt. Top starter bolt. Alright, then I take my 13. There's a bell bolt in behind the cooler. Underneath all those coolant pipes. Alright, and I always mark my bell bolts, so I know for sure when I'm going back together. Really easy to figure out. Alright, I got it on there. Just mark it. That's all you got to do to the top. You got two bell bolts, one in the top, one in the back. You got a starter bolt. You got to take this line off. There's one in the back too, but we'll get it from the bottom. But you can pop these wire retainers off while we're up here too. Might as well unplug that guy while we're up here too. Alright, you gotta take that clamp loose before you get done with your top stuff, because it's hard to get to from below. Alright, always gather your tools from the top before you raise it up. Takes a 15. Use our 15 gear wrench. Get these bolts loose. Put one there and then one here on the back side. That came out. Alright, right here is one of the biggest pains in the ass. Alright, the nuts are 15. And I put a nut on the end, so when I start turning that 15 out, the whole stud will come out, because it's easier to put bolts in there. Alright, just like that. Put a nut on the end, and it helps you get that whole stud out at the same time. Just get a regular old metric nut. As soon as you start twisting that 15 out on the stud, it grabs a hold of that nut and the whole stud will come out. Trust me, it's way easier that way. You ain't getting that bracket out with those studs in there. It's just not happening. So I remove the studs at the same time, and then I put bolts back in there. Alright, just like that. Got both of them out here. Just like that. Just like that. You got that plate. These two little bushing things. And once we get this out of the way, that'll come out. That came out, and this gets out of the way. Alright, this is a 4-wheel drive one. See, there's just a T-case in the way. I'm going to show you how I get the T-case off. Still take this bracket out. The T-case will come right through this hole. The axles aren't much different. Still has that same little bracket as a 2-wheel drive. And the axle comes out of the T-case. Pull the ball joints the same way. Alright, we gotta take this little cover off. Right there, there's 8s. Just reach my arm up like this with the, just like that, and then I'm gonna get a short ratchet, take these 8s out of the top of this shield. There's one. Oh, it feels like there's more than 2. Find out where the third one is. Found the other one. It's way up on the left side. Use this short 8mm gear wrench to get it. I might end up just leaving that thing in there. Not coming out very easy. Alright, there's our shield. There was the hard to get to bolt. These two are really easy. This one I just used my little gear wrench. Took it out. Now we got to work on the drive shaft. It's right through there. I'm going to get a long extension with a wobble socket and the Torx. You have to put it in neutral. Alright, I'm just getting that shaft loose of the transfer case. Alright, got the 3 bottom ones out. Alright, got hard to get transfer bolt up in here. I'm using this short ratchet, the 13. Right up in through here. Alright, and if you're having trouble getting a good pull on it, sometimes I'll put this ratchet in this tie strap. Look at that. Pull down. That'll bust it free. Not a lot of room for that one. Get it started and then you just finger it out. I'll try this little ratchet for that other bolt too. Alright, I'm going to use that same trick. Bust these bolt loose. I think that's the last one. That was a pain in the ass. Alright, there's this bracket right here too. Two 10s in the transfer case. And then 110 in the block to get that bracket out. Then your transfer case should come right out through this hole. There's this vent. It's gonna come off as well, or it can come down with the transfer. Alright, that's your main difference between the 2 and the 4-wheel drive. Everything else is the same. Grab a 7. And you take out these 2 bolts right here. Get that out of our way. And there's one on the inside here. That'll allow us to get that out of our way. Alright, I removed this front air tube too. It's a 7 up here. It's a 10 on one of the pan bolts. Alright, that's out. I'm going to take these pinch bolts out, right down on that, and then remove my axles. 15 on the bolt. 18 on the nut. Put my long tapered bit on my air hammer. And I just start driving right there. spread that out. And then I asked somebody for a pry. I need a pry! It is moving.
Another two-wheel drive.
You lucky.
Yeah, fucking four-wheel drive goddamn utility truck down there. Thought for sure that'd be two-wheel drive.
Thank you, sir. All right, axle nut on this one is 32. Probably the most common size. All right, then I grab a bucket, long pry bar, pop that axle out. It always helps to pull this out of the way. Be careful of that brake line. To get this axle out, I had to air hammer a little bit on the back of the axle. Don't hit the bearing. It's right on the axle hub. And I'm going to start taking some bell bolts out now. You got this top one up here. It won't come all the way out, but you can get it all the way loose. It's the one right by the exhaust pipe. See, that bolt just comes out that far and it just stays there, and I leave this bolt in. That's one of the last ones I take out, and we take all the rest of these bottom ones out. You can put a shorter thing on it. I just wrench them out. And then I leave this other front one here. Those are the last two I take out. All right, mark them both, make it easy. All right, I'm taking these front bolts out. There's two more starter bolts and one bell bolt. Go ahead and mark it. Since it was coming through the other way, I'm going to put a dot on that end as well, so I know where they go. All right, this bottom starter bolt has a ground strap on it. All right, use a short 13. Got that starter bolt that had the ground in it out. I'm gonna go ahead and mark the threads because it's a starter bolt. I'm taking this last starter bolt out. All right, I got that last starter bolt out. I'm marking it. All right, now I need to wiggle this starter out of the way, because that's how you get to the torque converter bolts. I generally try to just jam it up in there somewhere. All right. Should be able to wiggle that starter out of the way. this model, I'm going to go ahead and unbolt that starter and get it out. I got a 10 and a 13. Alright. And then there's this rubber piece in here you got to remove. Got to remove that rubber piece. Alright, and this is how I turn the torque converter. I use an 18 gear wrench to turn the torque converter. Alright, I gotta get the bolt lined up. The torque converter bolts out. I'm using this short 3/8 ratchet and a black 15 socket. And you just line it up with your bolt. And then you rock it up till the socket hits the bell housing, and then you just push up with all your might. Try not to drop your bolts either. Should be my last one. There's my last one. I didn't drop any. The way you know you're done is you can wiggle that torque converter stud and hear that clickety click noise. Hear that clickety click? Before we go too far, we got to take that line off the back. Just an 8mm. I generally use a short gear wrench. Alright. That lets your motor drop. You can take this guy out. This is where you're going to need your 13. Alright, this one you really don't need that extension. Alright, that bracket had 4 bolts. Keep them where you can find them. Along with the nut for the bolt for this guy. Because you're going to have to put that stuff back on when you're going back in. Make sure your cooler's loose, shifter bracket's loose, all these clips. There's this harness on the front of the tranny. It'll just slide right out of that bracket. You might need to pop the little tabs off. Alright, so now we can go. So we pull these lines up out of here. Pull the lines up. We gotta pry it forward as we're coming out a little. Clear the cross member. Like that. Your coolant pipes are getting stuck. Got her down. Shows you my clock when I started. That's what it looks like now. Alright, this is what it looks like all buttoned up. We got these doubled up mechanics wire going to the bell housing. We got these axle savers. You got to be careful to watch out for your ABS sensor right here. You can't be where it'll rub into that. I've seen guys mess those ABS sensors up, so be careful of that. You got to make sure you are catching this lip of the bearing, and then watch out for that ABS sensor. Alright, you got the two-wheel drive. We had all the stuff in the back seat again. There's my nuts and bolts, my battery, my tray, my air tube, other air box, both my axles. My cover. And there's always generally a couple flats or a notch on the torque converter. If you look inside, you can try to kind of line the notches up. This one's on the top. There's the clunk you want to hear. That first clunk was a little hollow. Second clunk is where it's at. Alright, so the hard part of these escapes is getting these flywheel holes to line up with these torque converter studs when you're going together. I always just try to put that in my starter hole. That other hole's down here where that one is. So, and then I always just look up there and try to line them up as I'm going together. I'm gonna go ahead and stick these line things on too. This goes in the tranny first, and then that black hard piece. Gotta keep it lubricated. It's pretty close to this. Just slide it right up past there.
Sean, I got it last night. Just barely get my.
Alright, I'm getting ready to push it together. On this model, you can stick your hand up in between the torque converter and the flywheel and make sure those studs are lining up. Some of them you got to reach into the starter hole. But this one you can go right in between them and get them lined up pretty easy. This long pry bar here. In between the frame. And then try to apply pressure. At the back, I can feel the stud in the torque converter hole. Alright, I had the front going together, but the back wasn't quite lined up, so I ended up lowering it. And then you can hear that clickety click. It means the torque converter's in the flywheel the way it's supposed to be. I mean, take one of my bell bolts. Should be marked. This one isn't. Done of these, enough of these I know. I'm going to stick my front bell bolt in until I can't tighten it with my fingers anymore. And that'll hold it together. Let my pry bar down and put one in the rear. Hey guys, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks a lot. Okay, while I'm up here, got my lubed up lines. I'm gonna go ahead and stick both of them in place. Alright, got my lines pushed down in there. Make sure your cooler's not jammed up or anything. Push this crap out of your way. And then we put this down in its hole. We got 13s that hold that on there. Get all our 13s started. And we can tighten them all up. Alright, then we can slide this down into place. Then we need to go down below and jack our motor up. Keep in mind, we want to keep this in line as we're coming up. And this line goes below that shifter. Alright, then we can start this by hand. You don't want to cross thread that mount bracket. 18 millimeter, good and tight. We can take our jack out and do all of our bottom stuff. I'm a little bit, my boss is up my ass, so I gotta just get it done. I can't be explaining everything from here on out. About to put the torque converter nuts on. Here's the squiggly magnet. Just use that to make sure they don't fall. Because if they fall, you gotta take it back apart. Nobody wants that. I use my left hand to keep the ratchet tight on the torque converter nut. I use my right hand to tighten it. And then once I get it tight, I keep it square and it pulls down till the block stops it. And then you can hang your whole weight from it until it's good and tight. And you use an 18 on a crank to turn the flywheel around. Bottom two starter bolts. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and use my short 13 gear wrench. Tighten them up. Go ahead and plug my tranny in. Before you ever put one of these C-clips in, put a generous amount of grease on there, aiding the installation.
It's that time of the year.
Alright, this is our last piece we had to put on. This clamp for the air boot took a 7. I didn't get that, but I put this air boot in. It takes a 7. There's a 10 right there. And now I'm working on this cross member brace. I also put this mount in, mount bracket. It's 15, 15, 15, 15, 15. Alright, to get to these bolts, pull this back, put my air ratchet in there. Don't over tighten them. Alright, and make sure those things are above. I'm going to put all these 7s in now. The little guy goes in the bumper cover. And this other one goes in the front. Alright, now we got to put our cover on our wheels and tires, and we're done with the bottom. Alright, I'm going to stick this back line retaining bolt in. I'm using my short gear wrench, 8mm. Start it by finger up through this hole by the axle. Top starter bolt. Alright, going after my top 2 bell bolts. Alright. Both the top 2 bell bolts are tight. Hold that wire down, fold the coolant flow valve over, and it just falls into place. I don't know why you'd remove the cowl, but then you got your 3 bolts. You want to make sure your ground's out here, not back behind there or something. slide our battery in there. Before you go too far back, you want to put your negative on and tighten it down. I normally use a short gear wrench. Make sure you can't wiggle it around. Slide it back into place and then put the cables back down in that little groove. And you got to remember to put this rear battery cover back in. Go past it and then come back. Normally just snaps into place like that. And then pull that back over there and snap your front battery cover into place and put that on and tighten it up. And remember, the notch goes to the right. And don't forget to put your coolant flow valve back on. Alright, here we go, guys. That plug right there is the fill plug. You fill it till it comes out, then you start it, and then you fill it till it comes out. I'm going to try to get video of it, but it's not the easiest thing to do. It's a 14 millimeter, and I just used this little ratchet to take it out. There you can see the little O-ring seal thing stayed on there. You just fill it up there until it comes out. Then you start it, and then you fill it till it comes out again. And then you're all good. That's how you fill it up. So there is a checker up, or a fill thing up above if you want to have somebody help you. It's right on the top of the front of the pan. That's up to you guys. But thanks for watching, guys. Alright, I got 4 quarts in it. It's starting to come out. Looks like it took about 9.5 quarts, guys, total. I always like to put a little extra in it. They say if it doesn't need it, it'll vent. Don't forget to tighten that plug back up. Thanks for watching, guys. Got this escape done. Probably took me about 2.5, 3 hours to put it back in, top all the fluids, the 2-wheel drive at least. Alright, got this escape done. Thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like if you found this video helpful. Subscribe if you want to see more like it. That's the easiest way to freely support my channel. You can always change your mind. So, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it.